Welcome to the Sauce and Gravy channel. This is Johnny Mac, the gravy guy. It's Saturday, so I'm going to walk you through step by step how to make a homemade brown stock. One that's rich and deeply flavored for soups, sauces, and gravies. It does take a little time, but will elevate your home cooking game, giving your dishes that restaurant-style quality, making every bite unforgettable. Start off by rounding up a high-sided roasting pan and your chicken bones. I'm using 2.5 pounds or 1.14 kilos of chicken bones. For this recipe, I'm using 8 chicken legs and 2 full rotisserie chickens. Over a few week period, I collected the bones, put them in an airtight container, and put them into the freezer until I reached this large amount. Then I thawed them out in the fridge, and they were ready to go. Spread the chicken throughout the pan and then put them in a preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 204 degrees Celsius. Roast the bones for 40 minutes. After the allotted time, take it out of the oven and this is what you've got. The bones have been deeply browned to bring out a nice rich flavor. Grab a spatula, move the bones around, they'll go back in the oven in a moment, so you want to try to brown as many of the sides of the bones as possible. At this point in the roasting process, you can start adding the vegetables. 1 cup of carrots that have been diced, that's about 100 grams. Next add 1 celery stalk that has been diced. Add 1 yellow onion that's been chopped. And finally, you'll add 3 garlic cloves that have been smashed to release their flavors to the pan. Give it all a quick mix and throw it into the oven, same temperature, 400 Fahrenheit, 204 Celsius, for 20 minutes. While everything roasted, it gave you plenty of time to round up all of the other ingredients and get it ready to throw into the stock pot. Now you really have a nice base for this homemade brown stock. At this point in the process, you're going to round up all of the large items, the bones, and as many of the vegetables as possible and put them into the stock pot. Next, you'll deglaze the pan with half of a cup or 125 milliliters of red wine. You could substitute with water or vinegar, or maybe even a combination of half water, half vinegar. Use a flat-bottomed spatula to scrape up all of those bits and pieces off the bottom of the pan. That's the fond, and it's going to add loads of flavor to this stock. I'm doing this off heat, so I'm not reducing the wine down. I'm just using it to get the items off the bottom. You can turn the heat to low if you have a few pieces that are having a hard time coming off the bottom, just to heat the pan to help it release those pieces into the liquid. And there's always a few pieces that just don't want to leave the pan. Add a touch of water, swish it around, and then dump it into the pot. And would you look at that, a nice clean pan. It'll be a snap to clean in the end. Nothing difficult so far. Time to add some additional ingredients. Leaves from 1 stalk of celery and 3 fresh tomatoes that have been sliced. 3 bay leaves. 20 whole black peppercorns. A handful of parsley stems. Another large handful of thyme sprigs. 2 cloves. To this, you'll add 20 cups or 5 liters of water. Top it all off with 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of tomato paste. Give it a quick 360 to mix everything well and turn the heat to medium to high and bring it to a light simmer. Once it starts to simmer, grab a ladle and start skimming the foam off of the top. After your initial skim, you can turn the heat down to a light simmer and reduce down for about 2.5 hours, occasionally skimming and stirring throughout the process. Remember those meals that made you feel at home? Well, they're back. With the Sauce and Gravy channel's second cookbook, Comfort Foods Made Simply. Filled with scratch-made classics you'll be proud to serve. Creamy sauces, slow simmered flavor. No cans, no shortcuts, just real cooking. Step-by-step recipes, real ingredients, and QR codes to transport you to free video tutorials to help guide you. Cook with confidence, share with love. These are the meals they'll never forget. See the link in the video's comment and description section to order now. Real comfort starts now. After 1 hour, this is what it looks like. The liquid is becoming more of a hearty brown color. The flavors are starting to become more concentrated. We still have 1.5 more hours, so continue skimming the stock, occasionally stirring and making sure that it is a light boil. After 2.5 hours, the liquid is reduced by half. It's barely over the top of the big mass of vegetables and bones. The stock, it's deep, it's dark, it's rich and brown, and it's packed with loads of flavor. The next step of the process is to filter the stock out into a clean stock pot. Snag a chinoise or a fine sieve and dump everything in, and you might even have to do it in batches. Round up a spoon or a spatula and try to move everything around inside the chinoise, trying to extract all the liquid that you can. So there you go, now you have a delicious homemade brown stock. Check it out. All that you have to do at this point is let it cool off. And once it cools off, you can cover it and put it into the fridge. Oh yeah, that's good. If for some reason you're not able to use the full 10 cups or 2.3 liters within the next 3 or so days to make a sauce, soup, or stew, you can freeze it. Check out the stock. It chilled overnight, it's congealed and packed full of flavor. There are a number of different ways that you can freeze the stock, but I like to use muffin pans. The metal versions work fine, however it's a little harder to get those pucks of stock out. If you have silicone, that's the route to go. They're a whole lot easier to use. The nice thing about muffin pans is that you can freeze large amounts of the stock. My silicone trays will hold 3/4 of a cup and the metal muffin tin will hold 1/4 of a cup. And it's so great to have frozen pucks of stock that are fully packed full of flavor to make sauces, soups, or stews. You just take them out of the freezer, defrost them, and you're ready to go. Once the tins are filled, put them into the freezer, let it do its thing. After a few hours, the stock, it'll be frozen. Just remove it from the pan. And notice how easy it is to remove the stock from that silicone pan. The little pucks, they just pop right out. The metal pan's a little bit more complicated, but sometimes you just have to work with what you have. Carefully use a burner to heat the bottom of the pan to release the pucks. Give it a quick flip and the pucks, they should come out. And it's a good idea to flip the pucks onto a towel because there's a touch of stock that will get onto the counter otherwise. Throw your frozen pucks into a baggie, put it into the freezer, and it should last for up to 3 months. And that's all there is to it. That's how you make a delicious homemade brown stock with chicken bones and store it. That way you'll have a scratch-made delicious brown stock at a moment's notice so that you can make sauces, soups, or stew at the drop of a hat. Thank you so much for watching the Sauce and Gravy channel. If you found this recipe helpful, be sure to hit that like button. And hey, you know what? If you found it helpful, share it with your friends. They might find it useful too. Thanks again for watching, and until next Saturday, remember, it's just you, me, and the sauces. Keep whisking, y'all.